everybody, Stephen Bonacore, the Podfather of Gaming, here for OriginsTV. I'm in booth 100 with the brothers themselves.
1,000.
1,000. Did I say 1,000? Booth 1,000.
1,000.
It's like the
They
best
gave
number.
us a whole order of magnitude better this year.
Isn't that like amazing? Like you're in booth 1,000. I mean, got to be the best booth. And in fact, it is. You're right at the front. Brotherwise Games is who I'm talking to. Johnny and Chris, the owners, right? Founders, the big dudes at the company. It's awesome. It's great to be here with you guys.
I've gotten a little bigger over the pandemic.
Yeah, a lot of us have, without a doubt.
Bigger dude now.
So tell me, what's going on at Brotherwise right now? What do you got that's here and new that you want to tout, or in the future? What's happening? Who wants to talk?
What do we have that's new, Johnny?
All right, well, we've got a lot of stuff that's totally new, and we've got some stuff that might be new to you because
Because there was like a pandemic.
there was
you know,
something called a pandemic.
Something like that.
So a couple of games that came out last year, but we're treating as if they were new, are Night of the Ninja and Dragon Prince Battle Charged. So these are both awesome games. They've already been really well received, well reviewed, but it's our first time showing them off at conventions. This is our first major convention since 2019. Our last big convention together was PAX Unplugged. So, yeah.
Isn't it amazing? It's a great feel to kind of just be doing this again. And this is a major, without a doubt. It's going to be scaled back a little bit from like its height in 2019, but still, Origins is back now because this is gonna be a fantastic show, I think, for everybody.
Yeah. And
So tell me a little bit about these two very new for everybody out there games, most likely.
Yeah, absolutely. Night of the Ninja is a really fast-paced social deduction game. I think of it as a party game for hobby gamers because it is something that like anybody who's at the show can learn this game in less than 5 minutes, and then you can play a whole game of this game in like 15 or 20 minutes.
Love social deduction. It's one of
very
my
fast.
favorite mechanics, without a doubt.
And it's
serious.
up to 11 players. It's very fresh. Tom Vasel was talking about like, I'm sick of social deduction, but this game is fun, it's fast, and got the Dice Tower seal of approval. It's by Justin Gary, who designed Ascension and Shards of Infinity. It was a former Magic pro, so he brought this very gamery perspective to normally what's kind of like a touchy-feely genre, and I think he just did a killer job with it.
That sounds fantastic, and I'm really happy that you butchered Tom's name, Tom Vasel, not Basil. But that really makes me happy because, you know, Tom and I, frenemy relationship. Yeah, I know. I see you out there. I know. Tom's not here, so I can talk all day.
I prefer Tom Vasel.
Tom Vasel.
That's what I
We
go
can talk about him like that. Okay.
I like that.
And what else is new for the show?
Dragon Prince Battle Charged is based on the animated series. It's even if you've never seen the show, it's just a really cool, fast-paced miniatures battling game. So, a couple miniatures. It's like usually a 2-on-2 or 3-on-3 battle. You're building up energy, unleashing attacks. The goal was to recreate the feeling of like an arcade-style fighting game,
right?
But playing cards out of a hand, and we're really proud of it. And that's a game I led design on, and I think it's the best game I've personally designed.
Very cool.
So check it out.
Very, very cool. So I love that artwork, by the way. I think that style is just, I mean, it's anime, obviously, but really an interesting look to it versus like a more, I don't know, traditional anime. It's got something else going on there.
This show has been done phenomenally well on Netflix, so it's coming back for season 4 sometime soon. We're hopeful maybe this fall. We don't know entirely 100%. But the show did so well that Netflix approved it for 4 more seasons, which they never do.
That's huge. Yeah, they never
do. Huge. And it's delightful. It's got some of the same writers as Avatar: The Last Airbender. A lot of the same aesthetic, I would say. If you were an Avatar fan, you'll love it. If you haven't seen it already, you should.
Very, very cool. So what's the future look like? Anything that you want to mention that's happening like later this year or during the summer or anything like that?
I think our biggest news for this show, our biggest story for this show is Empire's End, which is a game that's coming out. This is a first look at it. It's coming out later this year, maybe even early next year, but this is a game designed by John D. Clare with art by Kwanchai Moria, who does such an amazing job.
John's great.
And what John has designed here is a civilization-themed reverse bidding game where you are a civilization at its apex trying to keep disaster at bay, and everybody's civilization sort of crumble over the course of the game, and you're just trying to, you know, in that age of calamity, be the civilization that survives. And it's kind of a twist on the classic game No Thanks. But
I love No Thanks.
But you're saying no thanks to barbarians and plague and disaster.
No thanks.
Yeah, I'm okay. I've had enough plague for this year. I can have a. I think we all have enough plague for the year.
We have. We're
But then,
plagued out.
if one does hit you, not only do you get the resources that were bid to avoid it, you also get an innovation that represents your civilization having been weakened by that disaster, but also adapting. So it's a really cool game. We're demoing that for the first time.
And that's not out yet.
That's not out yet.
Nope.
We've got another couple others that aren't yet out at this
Castles
show.
by the Sea had a successful Kickstarter earlier this year. Sort of new designers, Michael Zareb and John Benjamin, who are at Gathering at Friends, by the way.
Oh, very
You might have
cool,
seen
yeah.
it. It's a sandcastle building game, so you're using physical blocks to build up these gorgeous, beautiful sandcastles, while at the same time, it's a spatial puzzler as you try to get your pieces out onto the castle and sort of stake your claim on the castle.
As you said that, I do remember them demoing this. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
think I know them very well, but I do remember seeing this really cool
So they're
sand
new to the
castle
scene, but
thing.
we're going to see more of them. We're going to see more of these guys.
That's
They're
really cool. And that was already on Kickstarter, successfully Kickstarter.
Yes.
When's that release?
That one's probably most likely, if reality keeps going the way reality's been going, a Q1 2023.
Okay, Q1. And the one that you just mentioned, and I'm sorry about the name.
Empire's End.
Empire's End, is that going to Kickstarter too? And when?
That would, if we kickstart, that would be in the fall.
Okay.
And so the plan is currently to do that. That would probably also push it to sort of a Q1, Q2 release for
right.
2023.
We at one point weren't going to, but then we're like, this game is, people who are playing it are saying such good things that we want to give it that extra push, that extra boost. So, and then we've also got Call to Adventure Epic Origins, which was one of our last big Kickstarters and is coming out at the end of this summer. That is a high fantasy themed version of our hit game Call to Adventure. It is super fun. We were just playing it last night, and there will be a few chances to play that, demo it at our booth, or go to some of our events and check that one out as well.
You got a beautiful looking booth here. The camera can't see that. We kind of cheated and set this up here because there was a lot of noise back there because we're on day zero here, right? Basically,
King
we're
Crow's Castle, unassembled, but come back and take a look at it when you get a chance.
yeah. I'm gonna repeat again. It's booth 100. They're 1,000. They're right in the front of the 1,000 row. It's really looks like a great castle going on here. So, we talked about the fact that we're coming out of this, hopefully, plague. It's been a rough year for everybody in a lot of ways, including the game industry. It's been a really tough thing to get things out, to get noticed. What are some of the biggest challenges that you experienced during the plague, during the pandemic, as well as how do you see the future going? Any way you want to handle that question?
I mean, the challenges, I think we've talked about them a lot in the industry. We did okay with the shipping challenges, so we were able to get our goods on boats largely when we wanted to, but the cost increases, that's no joke. So we were
Absolutely no joke. A container that was going for $4,000 all of a sudden was going for $24,000 or more.
Actually, you nailed our numbers almost exactly. So imagine
Like I might have run a publishing company and stayed in touch with people.
a 6-time increase in your fixed cost out of the blue, totally unaccounted for. We were lucky. We didn't have to necessarily pass that on to our players from the Kickstarter or anything. We just ate a lot of that, as a lot of publishers did. But it changes your thinking going forward. And so we've started to think about this as maybe those shipping costs come down a little bit, and we are seeing that a little bit already. But we think probably the new plateau is going to be a little higher than it was, which provides a huge barrier to entry to some of the newer, more smaller companies that are coming on the scene where they're doing it through Kickstarter or whatever. It's another barrier to entry for them, and that has some implications for the industry, maybe some that are even positive, but definitely means we see less new blood, and I don't think that's positive. I think the new blood is a good thing for our industry.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like, as part of this interview series, I'm doing what's called the back row, interviewing a lot of the smaller companies back there, and then I'm doing the strategic. So like you guys, who are big now, yes you are big indie publishers.
Yeah.
When no one's Asmodee, and no one's even CMON, but you guys are now big players. You've got a great booth here.
We've been able to quit our day jobs. We've
Yes.
been very
Yeah.
lucky. Yeah.
And that's the sign of you're in the right place and you're living well. But you can see that there are going to be challenges for a while. Shipping is one of them alone, right there.
Yeah.
The crowding of the market, right? I mean, that's a significant thing too, which is going to hurt the smaller guys as well. And you're going to have to focus on core products more and things like that, so that people notice what you're bringing out more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's sort of, we're going to see some interesting ripple effects. none of us right now are talking about a possible, maybe likely recession, which would be the sort of icing on this cake in terms of, we've had all these problems on our side, but through much of the pandemic, gamers were still buying. They were still buying. What happens when we take all of these supply side problems and then we add in less pocket change on top of that? And I'm curious is a really nice word for it. I'm curious about what will happen over the next couple of years.
I'll give you a little bit of my perspective, if that's okay on that.
Yeah.
I'm of the opinion that we are essentially recession-proof. Back in 2008,
Yeah.
right? I mean, we had it was called the Great Recession. It was
Yeah.
so big. And we came out of that, sales of games continued. It shot up. It was a boom of gaming, even during that period of time.
Yeah.
So I have a very positive opinion of that we can weather a
Yeah.
recession. And the pandemic was the weird one. No one had that on their bingo card, right?
Yeah.
2020, yes, I have pandemic, I'm going to win this now. No one had that. And in the end, after a big dip,
Yeah.
some of those people, a lot of companies had even better sales
Yeah.
during the 2020-2021 time frame. So
Yeah, I think, we are very much optimists at heart, and I think we do subscribe to that view that board games are an affordable luxury, and both of those terms are relative, but it is something that, you can cut back into other areas, but if you've got a great game, you will keep playing that game. You're going to get a lot of fun out of that. It's going to be less expensive than a night at the movies, or how much fun you might even get out of something like a video game. And we believe strongly in trying to keep our prices as reasonable as possible. I think $50 is the highest price point we've ever had, and even
that's quite on the low side for a lot of what's going on right now. So
Yeah.
that's very reasonable.
even that's on the newer side of things. We're always trying to pack as much value and gameplay and variety as possible into every box. And I'm not saying that just as like I'm the marketing guy for the company, because I am, but legitimately that's like we will argue, and I'll always be like, nah, can we make it $5 less than that? And just try to, because we believe we'll get better sales if we can pull more people into the hobby, and that you can pull more people into the hobby if the price points are a little bit more approachable. In that like 40 to 50 range is great. That's where we try to keep our bigger games. And we do think where growth can come in this hobby is, even if people start to cut back, bringing more people into the hobby, that is where you can cause the industry to grow, as we saw in 2008, because more people were entering it.
Yeah, we continue to do the yeoman's work of bringing more and more gamers in. We want to evangelize the gamers to get out there, find new gamers, make it more inclusive, more welcoming to everybody. That's like what I do now. That's all I want to do is to help this hobby and make it happen, make it even better. And that's, I think, what everybody out here is trying to do. Make this place a better place for everyone to hang out, game, and have fun. That's our critical mission role. Let's have fun.
Yep.
Absolutely. Our company slogan is games that bring everyone to the table, and we lucked
Beautiful.
into that with Boss Monster back in the day. We just made a game we wanted to play, and what we found was a lot of video game fans played it. Parents were able to play it with their kids. People were able to play it with their partners and spouses who weren't normally into games. And then we went, let's try to do that with all of our games. So every single one of our games is designed to hit that kind of crossover audience that, play it with your boyfriend or girlfriend, even if this isn't normally their thing, and they're going to be able to enjoy a game like Night of the Ninja. They're going to be able to enjoy a game like Overboss because they're meant to be approachable. And I think, there are also more complex games that bring new people into the hobby as well, just by totally delivering on the theme and all that. But that's kind of where we sit and what our mission is.
That sounds excellent. Any last words you want to add in here, other than
If you're at Origins this week, stop by. We'll have demos running in the booth the whole time. We're right here between Czech Games Edition. We got Bezier near us.
BoardGameTables.com.
BoardGameTables.com. We got some great neighbors, so it's a wonderful little corner of the hall, and we hope to see you.
wonderful front of the hall? These guys are real players right now. We're with the big boys here. Well, thank you guys so much, Chris and Johnny O'Neill, the brothers of Brotherwise Games. I'm Stephen Bonacore, the Podfather of Gaming for OriginsTV. I'll see you again soon. Bye.